over your experience through years, can you identify a time when you came upon unethical persuasion, and how did you handle that, and how did you confront it, and how did you resolve it?
Well, the CPSUB, that is the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, Bolshevik, the original revolutionary group, who, by the way, had an apologist by the name of John Reed, who wrote 10 Days That Shook the World. I've been trying to live that down. He was from Oregon. It's a boring book. Beatty, what's the fellow's name? Beatty. Something. Warren Beatty played John Reed in the movies. Terrible. The early pronouncements of the Communist Party, which sought global domination and the conquest of all countries, and set it out that that's what they would do, have parties in every country and take them over, were flawed right from the beginning because they said things that weren't true. I read the early manifestos, the Communist Manifesto, and What is to be Done, one of the great textbooks of communism, and realized that they were bound to fail over time because they weren't telling the truth. And that impressed me very much and made me realize that I wasn't just telling the truth because it was nice or the right thing to do, but because it was a winning ticket. It was the way to win the war, the way to win the world, the way to win men's hearts. The truth shall make you free. And that experience in the Far East of seeing and reading and dealing with what the various communist elements were using to persuade people in different countries to accept and to undertake a communist regime taught me a lot about the truth. And that applies in commercial public relations as much as it does political public relations. When the communists were in the early days after World War II were really pushing, and when Mao Zedong was consolidating his power, the Russians supplied textbooks to Japanese students in Japan at university level, books about geography. Well, the Committee for Free Asia guy and an academic pal discovered these geography books had the maps in the wrong place. The lines were not drawn honestly. So they said I was on a visit, and they had already done a project with collecting garden seeds for vegetable seeds for the Philippines, called Seeds for Democracy. And we on the tabletop in a restaurant sketched out Books for Asian Students project. We would get the geography classes of university students in the United States to donate their used textbooks. And we'd take care of shipping them out and getting them into the hands of university students in Japan. knowing that if they were published in the United States, the lines would be correct for where the countries were, and the descriptions of the countries would be accurate and truthful. And the communists supplied textbooks for geography would be thrown out in the trash. And we did that, and it happened. This was profound. No one heard about it. No publicity was made about it. But tens of thousands of university students got the straight truth on where the Soviet Union ended and where whatever it was began. And American university students participated and supported that. I like that.
Mm-hmm. So did Arthur Page. That was one of his principles. Tell the truth.
Absolutely. It works. I mean, never mind whether you think it's moral or not, and I do think it's moral. It works. That taught me, those kinds of things taught me a lot that was later applicable to working for commercial clients.
Do you have anything else you'd want to share?
Okay, just a minute. Yeah, practice what you preach, right?
Well, get to see it and do it up close, because the books are too tightly structured, and therefore boring. You know, they're really tight. And I don't want to criticize people and so on and so forth. But you know, as revered as Cutlip and Center are, and I know both of them, knew both of them, Scott Cutlip and Alan Center, it's really dull. And furthermore, it doesn't really reflect the excitement that goes on among the real practitioners. I would have paid for my jobs. I had so much fun. As it turns out, I got more and more money. I really did. And I didn't think about that particularly. My father died when I was very young, as a boy. And I said to him shortly before he died, it's one of the few things I remember, "Daddy, what shall I be when I grow up?" All boys ask their parents this. Girls too, I'm sure. And he said, "I don't care what you are. Be the best. Whatever it is you do, be the best. I don't care whether you're a street sweeper or president. Be the best." That's one of the few things I remember about him. The other thing I remember about my father is he sent me a postcard. We're in boarding school in Leonardtown, Maryland. He was an international union organizer for the IBEW. And he was picked by the first woman cabinet member, Frances Perkins, who was Secretary of Labor under Roosevelt, to be a delegate to go to a World Congress of the International Labor Organization to be held in Lima, Peru. And one day I got a postcard at Leonard Hall in Leonardtown, Maryland, from Lima, Peru. Well, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it had a postage stamp on it. I'd never seen a piece of mail from anywhere in the world. It had a postage stamp. It had a picture of the Andes Mountains. Holy cow, I rushed to the geography book and the dictionary to find out, where is this place? Where is my father? He was in Lima, Peru. Of course, I called it Lima, as in lima beans. And so I started pestering the brothers who were teachers. Where is this? Where's my father? And it was signed Daddy. And I was 10 or something. Well, I was set on fire. that he would go to. I looked in the map. I mean, outside the United States, down in South America, on the Pacific coast, is this place called Peru. Holy cow! That set me. You know, that was a. And then he said, "Whatever it is you do, be the best." And then, you know, it just sort of came. I wish I'd had my father for many, many more years, but for the few years that we did have him, I'm grateful. Because he said, go do it. I think that public relations has a great capacity to do good. I think we can persuade people to donate to the Red Cross. We can persuade people to cross at the corner, not in the middle of the street. And we can persuade people to give up smoking cigarettes. Fat chance. And so on. But we have a responsibility as well as that right to do that. And the responsibility is to persuade people to do the right thing, to do it for the right reason, or do it in the right way. And that gives a morality to public relations that people don't think about very often. It's a very moral kind of thing that we do. And I like that. You know, you do well by doing good. And for me, the specialty that I was sort of pushed into was international, doing it someplace else. Wonderful. I had a great time. I consider myself a very lucky guy. Really.
Well, I feel pretty lucky just to have you share some of your experiences with us. This has been wonderful. And this will become part of the permanent collection at the Page Center. Any other thoughts?
No, the only thing we really didn't, well, a lot of things, but the thing we really didn't touch on, I suppose, were what are euphemistically referred to in textbooks as case studies. Everybody's interested in case studies.
They are rather large right now.
The big thing is case studies. Well, I think that's a bit formal. I like to think of it as problem solved. What is it you needed to get done, and how did you do it, and did it work? I love to hear other PR people, when I'm with them, tell me about how they solved a particular problem, you know, and how it worked, or how they approached a particular problem. And when I think back in a long career in this field, I think always about those Bayanihans, solutions to problems, and how wonderful it can be. And although we've used, and I've used, press releases and all the paraphernalia of standard PR all over the place, it's the creative things outside that have had the best influences, you know. The actions and the ideas. That's really exciting to me. You know, change the color of this or the shape of that or whatever, and they will have a profound influence. That's terrific.
I want to thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank
about
you
your
for coming.
bachelor.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.